Good afternoon, Los Angeles. I'm standing here in a Los Angeles City warehouse where so many of the goods that we have to serve the people of Los Angeles, to keep city government working, comes every day, every week, every month of the year. And I want to start by thanking the city workers that long before this crisis were doing the work to make sure that your government was always working for you. I'm very excited to be here today and excited to be here with a couple friends as well, because we just received an important shipment of some critical supplies in our fight against COVID-19. But before I turn to that, let me tell you who else is here with me. One person I think many of you have met, even if you didn't know him before, is the executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, the busiest container terminal anywhere in the Americas, or terminals, I should say. Gene has also been deputized in the midst of this with his unique knowledge of supply chains, of logistics, as our city's first chief logistics officer. And when I gave him the challenge at the beginning of this, when we were all scrambling, looking for PPE and equipment to keep ourselves and key workers safe, he stepped up to the challenge and stood up Logistics Victory LA, which if you look at our acronym, LOVLA, was a play on LA Love, which I've seen blossom all around us, but it was about getting the logistics that could express that love, the needs that we had for our hospitals, our frontline workers, and everybody else. Tony Royster is also here with me. Where'd Tony go? He's hiding over there, but Tony, come stand over here at least so folks can see who you are. The extraordinary general manager of our General Services Department. If you don't know how to speak bureaucratic, General Services Department sounds pretty innocuous, but it is probably the most important department we have because it touches all of our departments. General Services Department does everything from keeping our buildings clean to procuring all of the things that government needs, from our computers to our police helicopters and more, to make sure that city government works. And I want to thank him and the GSD team that's been working around the clock with Gene Soroka to make sure that the supplies we need for our city workers and our city beyond keep flowing. And they run this warehouse. And then there's Ed Aldridge, who is the president of CMA, CGM, and APL North America, a leading global shipping and logistics company. I've had the great pleasure of working together with them and seeing, for instance, the biggest ship that ever came into the Port of Los Angeles, the Benjamin Franklin, which is as long as the Empire State Building is tall. And we're very grateful for their generous donation of masks, which I'm going to discuss in a moment. But from the beginning of this crisis, one thing was crystal clear. There was not going to be a cavalry. Whether it was testing or whether it was expanding our hospital capacity, it was up to all of us in Los Angeles to stand up our response to COVID-19 in those very lonely days, sometimes on our own. But I believed in the City of Angels. We had the brilliance, we had the connections, we had the commerce, we had the manufacturers, we had all the ingredients to save lives, and that's what we've been focused on from the beginning. Whether it was the doctors who are fighting the invisible enemy that came to us, the nurses who are meeting admitted patients with courage and compassion, firefighters at our testing sites, or frontline heroes that were doing the hard work of making sure that our economy could stagger forward even in these tough days. We saw who those people were, and we wanted to not just give lip service to them, we wanted to physically protect them, their families, and their lives. So these first responders we knew needed N95 masks, and they deserve to be protected. It's not a luxury, it is a right. But as we saw at the beginning of this crisis, you could see these masks going for $16, $17, even $20 or $30 online. There was supply shortages. People were taking advantage of essentially a wartime economy to try to extract profits over people. It's expensive also to go from vendor to vendor in the midst of a crisis, to buy inventory several thousand units at a time. 1,000 masks might seem like a lot, but anybody who works in a hospital or with one of the city departments who needs these know how quickly those can go away. But the city has incredible purchasing power. So we put that to use by buying in bulk at a low price point, and we were able to secure inventory not just for ourselves, but also for our hospitals that might not have had the connections we had and that were struggling when all the people who usually sell to them suddenly were being pulled in 1,000 directions. These efforts led to my April 28th announcement that the City of Los Angeles had signed an historic agreement with Honeywell to purchase 24 million N95 masks made here in America, just down the highway on the 10, for a good price point. And now, 1 month later, These are 79 cents plus tax each. We can announce that the first 100,000 N95 Honeywell masks have arrived. And they're here several days ahead of schedule. That's America at its best. That's America at its most entrepreneurial. That's America at its most caring. From this first shipment, Logistics Victory LA, our program, will distribute 90,000 of these N95 masks to hospitals at our cost, not 1 penny more. And 10,000 of them we will keep for our fire department personnel who are transporting patients, who are out there at great risk, and who we want to protect. This is just the first shipment. Next month, we'll go from 100,000 to 200,000, with another 500,000 coming in just over a month in July. And we're going to scale up to 1.2 million American-made affordable N95 masks by December, each month. So if your hospital needs medical supplies like N95 masks for COVID-19 patients or frontline workers, let us know. Go to lovela.org. That's Love LA without the E. As our inventory grows, we'll distribute those masks at cost to all of our hospitals and those who need them. You've heard me say this before, N95 masks are very special and important. They're for medical personnel and for first responders who are putting their lives on the line for all of us. For the rest of us, we should be wearing bandanas, scarves, face coverings, cloth masks like this great Dodgers mask I got when we opened up the biggest testing center in America earlier this week at Dodger Stadium. These face coverings say that you love your family, love your neighbors. They are an expression of patriotism, an expression of caring, and an expression that we won't let this virus defeat us. And I'm grateful to Honeywell, the Logistics Victory LA team, and our Department of General Services for all the work that they have done to bring about this life-saving purchase. But now let me turn it over to Gene Soroka, who, as our Chief Logistics Officer for the City of Los Angeles, he has been able to secure this first victory in what I know will be an ongoing campaign to defeat COVID-19, to restore this city, and to get back to business. Gene?
Thank you, Mayor Garcetti. And you're correct. This first shipment is significant, and the milestone we've hit is a great credit to Tony Royster, John Trivgota, Melissa Usalon, Troy, and all of the folks at the General Services Department who've been working with us in lockstep to make this happen. It's also a great credit to the 20 volunteers at the Los Angeles Harbor Department, including people like Aveen Sharma, David Libatique, and Erica Calhoun, who have been sifting through more than 800 leads. And the work to get to this direct manufacturer relationship really seems to be the formula that we need to lock in on. And now we're starting to build that Los Angeles stockpile that we've talked about before. Working closely with the Hospital Association of Southern California and so many of our great public and private hospitals here in the Southland, in the city of Los Angeles specifically, now will be put to the next test to see how well and our ability moving forward on the distribution of these masks, the fit tests that will be taking place at the hospitals, our information flow with the digital medical optimizer that is built off the Port Optimizer, the nation's only port community system, and how we can drive the financial flows to continue circulating the investment that the mayor and our city council have made in Love LA to get more PP out to our frontline medical workers. So that test is ahead of us, and we're going to get it right. We're going to ask the hospitals for feedback on how we're doing, and we're going to sharpen our approach with each and every shipment. The look at Love LA is also very important from the standpoint that if you need medical supplies or have these critical PPEs, visit us at lovela.org. We have a very easy to read intake program. Fill out your data, tell us what your burn rates are, and we'll get on the phone with you immediately to start working out on your distribution needs. I'd also like to keep working and focusing on a wider range of products. We're in great need of isolation gowns, the hair bonnets, the foot coverings, and a whole litany of other products that we're going to continue to work on together. And again, with these direct manufacturing relationships that we've created with a strong and trusted distribution network, I feel we can move forward pretty quickly. I'd like to also acknowledge shipping giant CMA CGM that's based in Marseille, France. Mayor, you'll remember hosting founder and then chairman and CEO, the late Jacques Sade, in your office, to help solidify this long-term partnership and relationship. And Mr. Sade came to Los Angeles and asked us, how could we do more business here? And the mayor was ever so kind as to bring Mr. Sade, Fareed Salim, and so many others in to talk about what we were going to do. And they said that they wanted to get involved in the city of Los Angeles, and we're seeing that here today. That involvement really starts at the top with now chairman and son Rodolphe Sade, his sister Tanya Sade Zini, the executive officer, and so many others that have contributed to this great relationship with our city and port. And Ed Aldridge, who has intersected with my career and mine with his over many, many years, now as president, will continue to work with us on our port business as well as here today and what they can do for our city, Mayor. So it's a good story, and as I always tell you, I'm very pleased with our traction, but we have much more work to do, and you can count on us.
Well, thank you so much, Gene. And the work you've done has been exceptional. From the beginning of this crisis, I've been blown away by the generosity of individuals and companies, foundations, and many others. We're a great global city, and we've certainly proved that it isn't the size of LA, it's the size of our heart that defines who we are. But we've seen the hardworking members of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union step up to deliver the goods. We've seen the companies who have worked through a pandemic to keep our global supply chains moving forward. And today we're so excited to be with CMA CGM for a donation of 200,000 European standard FFP2 respirator face masks, because it reflects the power of partnerships. And I want to thank Ed and the entire CMA CGM team. As the president of CMA CGM America, I think Gene said everything that needs to be said, but this has really been a friend and a collaborator to so much of the great work we're doing in the ports of Los Angeles and our region. And for that, we are grateful. And friendship has defined the moments when we need you. So, Ed, let me turn it over to you, and thank you, friend.
Thank you very much, Mayor Garcetti, Director Soroka. On behalf of Rodolphe Sade, the chairman and CEO of the CMA Group, we are proud to provide these masks as a gesture of our dedication to the great people of Los Angeles and to our partners at the Port of LA, who do an absolutely outstanding job in working our vessels every week. As the largest ocean carrier today, calling the Port of Los Angeles, and our nation's largest ocean carrier, serving 19 ports, 34 weekly services, at 93 port calls every single week. We are absolutely committed to help the U.S. recover from the effects of this horrific pandemic. CMA CGM today is harnessing the best of our organization, including Civil Logistics and American President Lines, to deliver differentiated ocean services and customized end-to-end logistics solutions for the vital products that need to be delivered faster, safely, and always economically and environmentally in a reliable manner. Once again, Mayor, we will always be there for you. You have always been there for us, and we look forward to many years of close friendship and cooperation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ed, and thank you, merci, to the entire company. And I know how much Angelenos appreciate how, whether it's the conversation I've had with leaders in the Middle East who have stepped up and donated PPE, donated for our Angeleno cards, whether it's my colleagues in East Asia who've stepped up to share testing resources and others. This is a global fight, and I know that we have been there vice versa for our friends in Europe and Latin America, Asia, and throughout our world. It's a moment when we really feel that human family come together. And in that spirit, I just want to thank everybody. I'm going to speak now in Spanish as well, because we are a global city, and I want to share this information with everybody here in Los Angeles. But as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Whenever you can, still stay at home. These masks will help protect lives. Your wearing of a face covering will help protect lives, and it will ensure that we can get people back to work in a safe way so that we can save lives and save livelihoods. Thank you all so much. Y también brevemente en español yo quiero decir unas buenas noticias y muy buenas tardes a Los Ángeles. Desde el comienzo de esta crisis, lo he hecho claro que tenemos una responsabilidad de proteger a las personas protegiéndonos a nosotros, los médicos y enfermeras y bomberos y los héroes en la primera línea de nuestra respuesta. Estos primeros socorristas necesitan mascarillas de N95 y se merecen tener la protección adecuada. Este no es un lujo, es un derecho. Y sabemos que tenemos un suministro limitado. Con nuestro poder adquisitivo podemos comprar en masa de precio bajo, entonces lo usamos para adquirir inventario para nuestros hospitales que no pudieran lograr ellos mismos individualmente. En el 28 de abril, anuncié que la ciudad de Los Ángeles había firmado un acuerdo para comprar 24 millones de mascarillas de N95 de Honeywell. Estas mascarillas son el producto de los Estados Unidos, muy cerca de Los Ángeles, y ahora, un mes después, puedo anunciar que han llegado las primeras 100,000 mascarillas aquí en Los Ángeles y han llegado temprano. Con este primer cargamento, Logística Victory LA distribuirá 90,000 mascarillas de N95 al costo a los hospitales y 10,000 a nuestro departamento de bomberos. Pueden asegurar nuestros bomberos, nuestros trabajadores médicos, que estamos trabajando muy duro a proteger sus vidas. Este es solamente el primer cargamento. El mes que viene recibiremos 200,000 más y otro 500,000 llegan en julio. Para noviembre estaremos recibiendo 1.2 millones de mascarillas al mes. Y estas mascarillas también por un precio muy bajo, 79 centavos por cada mascarilla. Si su hospital necesita suministros médicos como mascarillas para pacientes del COVID-19 o trabajadores, visita nuestra página lovla.org. Este es nuestro proyecto de protección para nuestros hermanos y hermanas. Mientras crece nuestro inventario, tendremos más para distribuir. Como lo he dicho antes, las mascarillas de N95 son para trabajadores médicos y primeros socorristas. Las coberturas faciales que deben llevar todos los otros en público, como esto de los Dodgers, deben ser pañuelos, bufandas o hechos de otros materiales y se deben usar siempre con la sana distancia y buena higiene. Estoy agradecido a Honeywell y al equipo de Logística Victory LA y a nuestro Departamento de Servicios Generales por esta compra que va a salvar vidas. Además, agradezco a CMA-CGM por su donación de 200,000 máscaras de respiradores FFP2, un estándar de Europa, pero muy importante para nosotros también. Y gracias por este regalo. Y es un ejemplo de la amistad entre los negocios de Los Ángeles y la gente de Los Ángeles también. Gracias, Los Ángeles, por sus esfuerzos continuos para salvar vidas. Quédense protegidos, quédense en buena salud y por ahora, quédense en casa. Como siempre, mucha fuerza y amor. Y hasta pronto. That concludes today's program, but thank you for tuning in. We look forward to continuing to serve. Remember, as things open up, to be safe. Be safe. Be safe. Use your head, make the right decisions, and we will get through this together. God bless.